How to run an exam in Strixhaven. There are 3 separate parts to running an exam: studying, testing, and cheating. Number 1. Studying. A player in your game who wishes to study makes one ability check of their choice, as long as they can explain how the check is relevant to their way of studying. For example, a player who studies by praying to their deity might want to make a religion check. The Game Master will set the DC to something they think is fair for that exam, so choose your checks wisely, for this ability check can only be made once. If the check is successful, then huzzah! They gain 1 reroll during the testing phase. Players may choose to pull an all-nighter. In this case, if their check is successful, they gain 2 rerolls for the exam. They also gain 1 level of exhaustion that expires after the exam is taken. Players may also choose to study together. They simply roll their ability check of choice with advantage. And lastly, studying is optional. You can always wing it. Number 2. Testing. Each exam requires your players to make 2 specific ability checks with a DC determined by the Game Master. This is where you can use your rerolls from studying. There are 3 possible outcomes: failed, passed, aced. 2 failed ability checks means less than half the answers were correct, and that is a failure. 1 successful ability check and 1 failed ability check means half or more answers correct. Passed. If both ability checks were successful, that means every question was answered correctly and the exam has been aced. If a student fails the exam, they must go to tutoring and cannot engage in extracurriculars or jobs until they pass the next exam. Check out our videos on those 2 for more information. If a student passes an exam, they gain a student dice. This is equivalent to an inspiration dice, but your Game Master can decide what this dice is. This student dice can be used for any ability check of the 2 skills that were used in the exam. For example, a past exam where the students had to make a sleight of hand check and in a history check gains 1 student dice that can be used for a sleight of hand check or a history check. They can use it once and regain the use after a long rest. All student dice are lost at the end of the academic year. Number 3. Cheating. The player who wishes to cheat is required to make a successful deception check and a successful sleight of hand check. You may not use any rerolls you gain during studying. If either of these checks are to fail, you will be caught, and the punishment is at the discretion of your professor. However, if both checks are successful, you ace the exam. Studying, testing, cheating. And be sure to check out Dragoontooth Academy, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube from The Adventures in Silvernell. Ha ha!